Lionel Richie is an American singer, songwriter, musician, and producer. He was co lead of a band The Commodores in the 70s and their sax player, as it turned out. He launched a solo career in 1980, had one successful album, followed by two extremely successful albums. He took a break from 1986 to 1996. When he came back, he was less dominant since then, but has released seven more albums, the most recent being in 2012. Hi, my name's Dan. So this was Lionel Richie's second solo album, and it's actually my first time listening to this all the way through, although I do know some of the songs because there were a few hits from here. And at the time, and I think since, the album was everywhere, and particularly it would kind of crop up in second-hand record stores. You would see it in friends' record collections. Um, I was never tempted myself to get a copy, despite having quite a bit of respect for Lionel Richie. Um, so I would describe this as pop soul. I think, so Acclaimed Music do that as well. I think it's a perfect description for it. So it has kind of elements of poppy stuff. So we're talking about 80s pop here, and elements of soul kind of married together. All Night Long is a great dancey pop song. I've always enjoyed it. Again, I wouldn't say it's one of my favourites, but it's definitely one that I've never got kind of bored of, the amount of exposure there's been for it. Wikipedia says it's got Caribbean influence. I'm saying, yeah, maybe that's right. It's not certainly not really a reggae influence. To me, it's kind of mildly African. It reminds me a little of, actually, in some ways, of Africa by Toto, just kind of in the pace and the feel of it. But it's just a nicely crafted, radio-friendly, disco-friendly song. People would get up and dance to it. That's probably the most upbeat song on the album. Running with the Night is also a song that I know and also quite poppy. Most of the rest have got varying speeds between ballady, slow stuff to poppy faster. It all has a kind of pop feeling of lightness, but it manages to avoid most of the cliched 80s soul sounds, particularly the electric piano sound that's so overly used. And actually, um, one of the reasons why I'm not saying it's all out soul is because it doesn't use soul instrument sounds so much. It, and maybe chordage as well. It's got a kind of feel more of soft rock with a soul influence or element to it. And I think the strongest thing of that is his singing, I would say. Let's talk about Hello, which is the last track on the album, which is a huge hit. It's a really good song. It's got an iconic video with a pretty blind girl, although first saw this in my university hall of residence, and when he sung the line, "Is it me you're looking for?" talking to a blind girl, it did get a kind of ironic laugh. It's despite that kind of slight incongruity, it's an evocative track. It is a slushy ballad, but it's perfectly done for a slushy ballad. Just enough feeling in it to balance out the mushiness of it to kind of deliver it. So the delivery is fairly convincing. It possibly helps that he's the writer or co-writer of all the tracks on this album. So one of my complaints about some soul stuff of the 80s is that I felt that soul was great until it hit the 80s and then it just lost its soul. This, I think, has still got some soul, and I think some of that is the writers singing it, and I think a lot of pop soul in the 80s, they were kind of singers for hire, songwriters for hire, the other way around. They were kind of taking other people's songs, and maybe it felt a bit too superficial. This is not deep, but it's not as superficial to my mind. Um, the Still on Hello, I did notice a couple of years ago that it has a very similar chord sequence and tune to a track called El Shaddai by Amy Grant. It was actually written by somebody else, which came out the previous year to this. I think it's coincidental, and they're probably both inspired by other things. But it did kind of strike me, oh, is this a copyright issue? But apparently nobody else has noticed. It's just me. Um, Back to the generalization of this album, singing pretty good, I would say. Lyric wise, it's not deep. It's very pop. Overall, it's nicely crafted. It's got some good feels, and I respect it. And I think that sometimes it's really easy to dismiss stuff that's really popular, particularly to dismiss stuff that's pop. I don't think good pop is easy to do. I think it seems effortless, and on this album it does seem effortless. But I think that there's a real skill to getting something that feels this effortless, and is just this kind of yeah, perfect 80s pop kind of stuff. So it's good. I really like it. As always, I'd love to know what you think, so please do tell me by leaving me a comment. And that's it from me for now.
I've been alone with you inside my mind, and in my dreams I've kissed your lips 1,000 times. I sometimes see you pass outside my